Last Pint Productions presents The New Way podcast. The New Way contains adult content, including juvenile jokes about Tom Hanks and masturbating. But more importantly, The New Way is here, socially distanced and ready to deliver each and every week of the quarantine to the best of our ability. We're in this together, dick jokes and all. Get well, Tom and Rita. Listener discretion is advised.
So, despite all our efforts, she failed to respond.
Okay.
And her heart stopped, and unfortunately, she did die.
Right.
I'm sorry, Mr. Emma.
I know this is hard to accept.
Okay. Can I go talk to her?
Mr. Emoff, I'm sorry. Your wife is dead.
Matt Damon. Everybody wants to be naked and famous. Everybody wants to be just like me. I'm naked.
Will you help teach me about this? What is it? A new way?
Hello and welcome to a weird edition of the New Way podcast. I am Matt, quarantined in the Last Pint Production Studios by myself. That means there is no one to my left and only two people to my Skype. First up is Ben Wilson, who is on my left of the Skype view I'm looking at. How's it going, Ben?
Hi. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Just fantastic. And Nick is over there on the right. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing great now that Ben will finally realize the pain of Skyping in and trying to keep up with the action in this studio. It's difficult. You're going to find out. You're entering a world of pain.
Ben's lighting is like cats. It really is.
I was about to say I've given myself like 18 one-liners for the episode, so I think that's about a Nick quota.
Yeah,
so.
But you're not going to be able to get any of them in. You'll see how the process goes now, where Nick's desperately trying to get a one-liner in and just barrel rolled over.
Listen, there are bigger things to worry about. Like, can the kids hear all the things that you're saying right now? They could be scarred for life if they witness a New Way podcast taping.
Yeah, where are you? Where are you in the dining room?
Dining room. Listen to those acoustics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the dining room. Right across from me, Beth is putting together a puzzle.
Oh, lovely. We have
how many pieces?
69.
How many pieces? 750? 750.
Amateur.
That's mean.
It was like amateur.
Don't tell her I said that. Oh.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so
Shit's about to go down.
So yeah, this is the first podcast we have ever done where there aren't at least two people in the same space for the show. So it's kind of interesting on our end. Obviously, we are not together because we are practicing proper social distancing and doing our part to flatten the curve. As I say, I do kind of love the flatten the curve kind of just as a general movement and a very simple way to explain it to people. I don't know who originally, whether it was Fauci or whoever, but I think it's such a great easy way to just dumb it down, and for fuck's sake, we apparently need it dumbed down in plenty of the states.
Tell those kids in South Beach what flatten the curve means.
Yeah, it's
that wasn't South Beach, that was Clearwater.
Oh, even better.
That's true. They shut down South Beach. That's right.
Yeah, and they're saying now that's the big populations, the 20 to 29 are the most likely to carry, and just
spread it. Oh my God, Nick, are you implying that college kids are stupid?
I'm implying that they're selfish. They're selfish. It's more. They're probably smart enough to realize what they're doing. They just don't care. It's the sad part.
Think that I kind of agree with that as well. I think they're legitimately they're saying
they know what they're doing.
We will carry it. We don't care because it doesn't affect us, and we're not going to stop. It's not worth it to stop partying. This is our time to party, and that's it.
I've been planning this spring break for months. You know, if I get the corona, I get the corona.
Yeah.
I watched that video too.
I found that guy on Facebook, and he has not taken down his page in shame yet, so he must not be getting harassed enough. So everyone docks this guy. I think his name is Grady.
He's probably like a party hero now. Like this is like they'll make movies about him. He'll be the new Ferris Bueller.
Oh, well, hey, Cash Me Outside girl came from Boynton. That guy will come out of Tampa.
Our famous,
you're not wrong.
People. Listen, Poe Dameron came from here too. God damn it! So let's not make it just the Cash Me Outside girl.
Poe Dameron went to school with Michelle.
Yeah. He went to Poe Dameron High. as I call it every time I drive by it. Yeah, so we are separating ourselves, even though, you know, we are small groups. I mean, obviously, we're definitely separated from Nick by many, many, many miles, but we'll probably be even separating some things that we had planned with Nick, potentially coming up, just because we're trying to be smart and good about this, and hopefully everyone else
everybody else should too.
Yes.
Everybody should. This sucks. I know that Ben would rather be drinking a brew with Matt in the same room, and it doesn't seem like that big of a deal. It's only 2 people, but for now, you know, until we get more info, guys, just hunker down. It sucks. We're all in this together, and it blows. But who knows how long it's going to be, and the longer we don't comply, the longer we might have to do this.
Well, and I think the kind of cool thing is that a lot of us are apparently discovering things we should have done before, probably, which is a lot of video chats and video calls. I did it with my friends, and for me, it's very important because I do have literally no human contact right now. So, with working from home,
I mean, how long has it been since you've been out of your house?
Monday.
Holy shit!
I mean, I walked outside to like put the trash bin, and I ran it all back inside. I'm even afraid like walking out. I shouldn't be even walking outside, but there's a lot of like stupid people in my neighborhood with like just like running around and their kids running around. I'm like, just fucking no. Just I'm gonna stay. I'll just hole up and hermit up at the house. And it's not. But it's not terrible either yet. It's 4 days.
Beth went to the store yesterday, and she came back and she had so much more life in her eyes. Like just.
That's the corona.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, I haven't needed to go to the store for, I won't probably for another week or so. So I will probably not be seeing any humans. Oh, I mean, someone dropped off liquor for me today, but I was very cagey with them, and they were not, and they seem sort of hurt. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know you.
From where?
From Total Wine.
Leave the liquor on the doorstep.
That's what I did. Keep the change, you filthy animal. I tried, and she goes, no, I have to see an ID. So I literally opened the door up a crack, stuck my ID out, and with like a glove on, then I sprayed everything, and she was like, okay, I get it.
That's so fucked up.
It's like, I look, if I'm going to be stuck in my house for 3 weeks or whatever it is, or 4 weeks or a month without seeing a human being, I'm not going to risk it on the fucking booze delivery from Total Wine.
Well, you know, a 31-year-old kid from LA just died, and he just came back from Disney World in Florida.
Yeah.
So there's that. Is also dispelling that it's just an old person's disease, which it is not. No, he had I think asthma. I think he was asthmatic. So
he had a couple he had asthma and chronic bronchitis, and he just beat cancer. So he was like a very
if you have a problem with your respiratory system, you should probably get checked out.
Yeah, especially. But you know, look, guys, kind of get used to it and get comfortable. I really feel for all the parents and you know, essential needs. I do feel sorry for you.
No, you don't.
I do feel sorry for you. I don't envy you. I do feel I have a appropriate amount of compassion. But I'm just, you know, just so you know, what?
I have the appropriate amount.
You know what the appropriate amount is?
Isn't that what he says in the Social Network? It's like I give you the appropriate amount of respect, the bare minimum, the least you deserve.
The least you deserve.
That's fair. You know, you have a beautiful, wonderful family.
The rest of my attention is back at the headquarters of the Wilson household.
I'm sorry that you're quarantined with your beautiful family. You have the appropriate amount of compassion from me.
I agree.
But just you know, hunker down, because I am expecting at any moment a new set of restrictions to land in the city of Los Angeles. We know that San Francisco is pretty much on lockdown, and it looks like they're going to roll out a whole new set of restrictions. I mean, momentarily. It'll break while we're recording this, probably. They've already shut down bars and restaurants, and they've only allowed these places to stay open for pickups. But I have still seen people in the street. I've still seen people taking hikes, which you're still allowed to do, but now who knows? I know that my roommate has taken his entire computer into his room and is now working from home. Editors who are on deadlines on delivering shows in Los Angeles right now, if this kind of, you know, security is so big here, and it's why they make the editors come into offices. They could be remotely, But they're making all these exceptions, these security exceptions, and major studios are even allowing, hard drives to come home, which is really kind of unprecedented to keep that machine moving. And they realize, this is going to be not as an essential a service, obviously, as restaurant workers and grocery store employees. But, I mean, there's only so many episodes of Golden Girls we can watch. We need that new content, Business as usual, I guess.
Well, I like, and my brother is saying, like, also, this fall is going to be the, like, biggest movie season that has ever existed. Because it's like everything's just going to get bumped to, like, September. And all of a sudden we're going to have, like, holy shit, September and October, like, the greatest movie months of all time.
Look, the silver lining is that I was able to see Sonic the Hedgehog on the big screen
with a tall boy.
that I'm gonna look back. And we're gonna be in our Fallout bunker. We'll not have moved for 5 years. I remember the last time I went to a movie. It was Jim Carrey's Sonic the Hedgehog.
That is kind of interesting. I'm trying to think of what the last movie was I saw in the theater. I think it must have been Star Wars.
That was the same for me.
It's gonna be a while. Yeah, you guys.
I think Star Wars. I don't think I've seen a movie in the theater this year.
But honestly, I think that's what's so interesting to me is that because immediately as all this started happening, I was just like, somebody's going to capitalize on this. And Universal was the first one. Universal was just like, all of our movies are in theaters, putting them on VOD this Friday.
Which is great. It's such a good idea, and they're still taking. Maybe they're taking a hit, or maybe they'll see that this is even more profitable. Maybe
it might be more profitable. Yeah.
Maybe it's just truly the death of cinema. If we come back with this,
and so I've read through a few articles. Everyone's still. I mean, the reason why people are delaying is because cinema is still a big thing, and like people still want it on the big screen. So I would hesitate to call this the end of cinema.
I think they're going to realize there are certain movies that don't absolutely have to be seen on the screen. Like, I think that's really what you get to at the end of the day.
Hey, and some meetings can be emails.
Yes. Yes.
It's the same exact thing. And maybe that's
some people want to have meetings because they've always had meetings. And you don't realize that meetings aren't necessary until you don't have those meetings anymore.
Yeah, until it's a public safety hazard to hold them.
I hope nobody from my work listens to this. Because
very few people listen to this.
Nobody but Matt's childhood friends.
Pretty much. And some of my imaginary childhood friends also listen to it regularly. Yeah, it is. I mean, I lost Nick. We've lost Nick's sound. Ben?
Well, I'm
got
here.
Ben. But Nick has ceased to. I can see him. I can see his mouth moving.
Must have accidentally hit the mute button.
He hit something.
But at least it's
Nick?
just you and me, which is the way we always wanted this podcast.
Am I back here?
There you go. You're back, Nick. What did you do?
I got a message.
You're a little hot.
My dongle got disconnected.
Okay. Yeah, your volume was perfect before. I don't know what happened.
The dongle came out, bro.
Okay, it seems like it reset your settings somewhere in there because you're a little hot. I don't know, maybe it's the gain on there, but
the gain is always down all the way. You don't ever have to ask me about the gain.
Okay,
I promise you.
Sure.
The gate is clear.
The gain is clear. All right. We'll soldier on through. Like we said, it is strange times. And because it is strange times, I decided to take advantage of those and do something I've been waiting months to do. And I sat down to watch Cats, the movie based on the musical of the same name. And I had a lofty goal.
Not the asshole cut, though.
Yeah, not the asshole, which very upset to find out there is no butthole cut. But the email with the person explaining that there's no butthole cut is also amazing. I don't know if you've seen that.
It's worth it.
It's sort of worth it all to have the discussion. But yeah, I watched it and I had this idea. I would record an entire commentary track. I made it about a half an hour through the movie. And I realized that the movie is a mix of these crazy, ridiculous things and then things that are just not ridiculous. They're just there. And it was sort of sad because I think watching that movie, and I don't know if Nick, if you'll agree with me in this, I really do see the film they thought they could pull off in there. I see it in how they've done some of the production design. I see certain things in it really looked like they were trying. It's just that where they failed very big. And tonally, the movie is similar to the show. It's just all like
whoa, Matt,
all over the place.
What you mean is tonally, the first 30 minutes is all over the place because you can't actually speak to the whole movie because you didn't even get through it.
No, but I'm saying for a first act of a movie where you're going between where you're going between the Jenny Any Dots mayhem and then you go to Grisabella who delivers this quiet, almost you can hear a pin drop little solo number, knowing that she's going to come back and do memory. There is no consistency in the first 30 minutes. Why would I expect that there's going to be more toward the end of the movie?
One of the things I really liked.
You watched The Irishman, didn't you?
Oh no! By the way, I'm gonna absolutely finish Cats. I'm just saying it didn't make sense for me to do a commentary because there were these huge stretches where there was nothing. There's nothing for me to talk about during Grisabella or during Rum Tum Tugger's bits because they're not bad enough to be funny.
Hearing, and I completely agree with it. It comes down to instincts. Like as a filmmaker, you have to know that something is going to work or not work, and Cats is just a $200 million. This is not going to work.
And it
was just a confluence of bad decisions.
More than ever, I dig in my heels that Matt has fought me on this every single time I bring it up. But if they had just done the whole thing animated, an animated film,
which was Tom Hopper's original idea.
Then it would have been all that weirdness would be gone. The
reason why it would have sucked is because Cats sucks. Cats is a fucking shit.
Well, now listen. I don't want us to break. I don't want the band to break up over this. What I did to since I didn't want to let anyone.
Wait. Have you seen Cats in person, Ben?
I have.
Where?
In Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Outside his garage.
I saw it on Broadway, sir.
Listen, I did do my due diligence.
It's not gonna break down Matt for fucking shitting all over.
So here's my main thing. My commentary was not funny enough to record an entire 2 hours of it, but I did take the 30 minutes I did and I made a supercut. And if you guys would like to hear a little bit of how I reacted to Cats, I can play this right now. So here is my supercut of Cats. It's a few minutes, so sit back and enjoy. Oh, terrifying cat people. Just glimpses of them lurking in the shadows. Cat butt. More cat butt. A lot of cat butt. I should have expected. Cat boobs. We got that. They're licking their lips. More cat butts. A lot. There is a lot of cat butt point of view in this. Almost porno-esque. Oh, is that Taylor Swift cat? I can't tell if it's Taylor. She's gangly, but I don't know if it's Taylor Swift cat. It's hard to tell. I assume that's Taylor Swift cat.
Nope.
Oh, this cat looks horny. Jellicle cats.
Sit on his throne.
Oh, I like her. I think that's the cat that they had to reduce the penis on. Oh, man, these cats are very rapey. Mr. Mistopheles, he raped me. Oh, that cat's in a toilet. Ugh. Mr. Mistopheles is in this more than I remember. Their tails like sometimes go in unison. Oh shit, there's Idris Elba. That cat can get it. Oh, that cat's got grill fangs. These some sexy cats here, not gonna lie. Some busty cats. Oh, Jewish cats. I guess that's Taylor.
Good lord.
All of the cats have scurried to get away from something.
Wow.
From Idris Elba. That's racist. Yeah, because he's got human hands. What the fuck?
Hey,
do they all have human
Nick.
hands? Oh.
What's your name?
This doesn't make any sense. Mistopheles just got shit on. These Jellicle cats are definitely like a cult. If that's Taylor Swift, she is way hotter as a cat than she is as a human or stork or whatever she is in real life.
It is not.
I like that he has Mr. Mistopheles has a collar like a bow tie because he's a magician. He needs to be wilder and weirder. Oh my god. Oh my God. She just got like on all fours and presented herself to him. Oh my God. She's like touching herself. Oh my God. She's like got her shit airing out in front of everyone. Ooh, what are these creepy cats in her house? Oh no. This entire scene has been, I'd say 80% Rebel Wilson's crotch. Look, how big is that fucking cat? Oh no, she's got a... Oh my God. So there's a kick line of roaches. It's like Joe's apartment. Oh, they have little human heads. Oh, she's eating them.
The last 30 seconds.
What the
last
fuck?
time
She
Matt invited
just
somebody
stripped
over to
off
the
her
house.
fur. Cats the musical, kids. Holy shit. Oh my God, all these cats want to fuck. These cat butts are out of control, though. Oh, they're now in a bar with milk, which is suggestive. Just realized the main cat is not Taylor Swift. That's why she looks so hot. Wow. These human hands, I don't understand it. So, some of these cats seem to be wearing cat fur as clothing. Cavity just tried to nab Jenny Anydots. She turned into dust. Oh, Lord.
And we'll try again, shall we? Yep.
I like the Mustafa Jones shit. I'm not gonna lie. I could have done without the dick. He just fell on his dick, and yeah. Ugh. 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 Oh, they're drinking this. Ugh. Oh. Oh. It's just swimming in garbage. It should have stayed on stage. It's just not doable in film. I'll give them that. I think Nick is right and Ben's right. It's unadaptable. That is my cat's commentary.
It is, if you just listen to me. So Matt, had you gotten through the whole, was the plane play a supercut of you watching the entire film?
It would have. That was in order, by the way. So it was progressively getting to where I was just like, ugh, ugh, ugh. Like I could not have done the whole movie.
Ben the whole time was bringing the microphone to his face, like ready to, like where he could interject on the previously recorded segment. Like, make it stop.
Nick, I was only going to point out one thing. How have you gone months and months, a year at this point, and not pointed out that to Matt's right side, he has a smiling Optimus Prime. Look at the entire frame.
Are you saying
I don't know what's happening right now.
It's like a minimalist, like...
No, it's like...
Where is him?
it's his entire right, like, to the entire Matt's right side. It's just a smiling Optimus Prime.
You mean like...
I'm very confused right now.
I have no idea what Ben is talking about at this moment.
Are you saying that the shapes of the things resemble a face of a robot?
Yes, there's a giant Optimus Prime in the background.
I don't see it.
Okay.
That's what you were waiting. That's what you were waiting to say. Let's interrupt this cat's commentary so I can talk about a giant fucking Optimus Prime illusion. Good Lord. Anyway, listen.
Finish up, cats. It gets way better.
Oh no, I'm absolutely no. First of all, I enjoyed myself. It was super fun. I just stopped the commentary because I thought it was going to just be more that's about. It's a law of diminishing returns with one person doing the commentary. But
and can we all just throw up some positive vibes for McCavity as he tries to recover from COVID-19?
Well, McCavity, I gotta say though, by the way. Jason Derulo as Rum Tum Tugger was fucking dead on. No, I loved it. I
hated him as Rum Tum
Tugger. Oh, no. See, I thought it was great. I was on board.
He was the rock and roll cat. He wasn't rock and roll.
I don't know. That was pretty rock and roll. Got rock and roll dick.
Not my Rum Tum Tugger.
God damn. The one thing we try to agree on, you can't agree on the one thing I like about it. And Buster for Jones.
Just looked at me and like mouthed, "Did you fart?" And I was like, "No."
And you mouthed, "Yes."
And now we're having to deal with this. Apparently, there's
Ben goes, "I farted," and she goes, "I know."
The close quarters are starting to have an effect.
Yes.
This way.
We're gonna watch someone go insane in real time over this podcast.
But it's like, you want to see a fart? I'll show you a
about
fart.
this podcast.
What's that?
What are we talking about?
Where are we talking? Well, we're going to get there in just a second. So we are obviously dealing a lot with Corona. I did ask the boys, since I've had some requests from people of things to watch and recommendations from us. They seem to like it. I'm going to send a list out to everyone after this. But Ben, do you have some recommendations of things to watch in this life of COVID-19?
Well, obviously, Universal did the pretty unprecedented move of actually moving everything to VOD. So this Friday, you're going to be able to watch The Invisible Man and The Gentleman and a couple of other movies. You're just going to be able to rent them, which that's huge. I mean, it's a crazy, unprecedented move. Nobody's ever done that before, and I'm really looking forward to seeing those movies. If you would like to watch something today, Beth and I watched Big Time Adolescence.
Well, they'll be listening to this podcast on Sunday, so everything will be out by the time they hear this.
Yeah. But we watched Big Time Adolescence night before last, just Pete Davidson.
Oh yeah, it's good.
And John Cryer, and it's a super funny, cool coming of age story. It's cute.
It's Apatow, right?
Yeah, Apatow produced. But yeah, it's fun.
Nice.
And it's not gonna win any awards. It's not. Han, what do you think?
Funny.
You like it? She just gave 2 thumbs up, but she wasn't emphatic about it. So yeah.
Gotcha. How about you, Nick?
We're like it's a fun movie. It definitely showcases Pete Davidson as being more than just like kind of the stupid guy on SNL. He's the stupid guy in an hour and a half long movie.
Perfect.
I have been curious about that, so I'll give that a shot.
No, it ends up being pretty endearing, and you kind of understand and kind of empathize with most of the people in the movie. It's fun.
Nice. And you have any recommendations, Nick?
I do. Here is Nick's Can't Fail quarantine playlist.
Number Enron, Too Big to Fail.
Number 1 actually ties into our theme of the episode and our new lives. Last Man on Earth on Hulu, which is not only topical.
Great recommendation.
I think maybe at times felt intrusive. It felt like they stole jokes from my brain subconsciously while I slept and made a perfect representation of my sense of humor in one amazing series. Daredevil Season 3. It helps if you've been watching it, but it's just a perfect season of television for a Daredevil fan. It does not get any better. I think you should leave on Netflix, which is a really short-term sketch comedy. It's great escapism. It's silly. It's anti-humor. It'll put you in a good mood if that's your thing.
Very similar to The State, for those of you out there that know The State.
And Tim Robinson from Detroiters is the main guy. I also highly recommend Alone Together, which only had I think 2 or 3 seasons on the Freeform channel.
I just got canceled.
I know, a while ago. It's so sharply written and so well performed. It's a buddy comedy. Definitely check that out if you haven't seen it. And then of course, hot tip, y'all. Have you heard of Pluto TV, Matt? I'm
familiar. I've watched it at your house before.
Now, Pluto TV is a smart TV app. It's on the PlayStation Marketplace, any of your consoles. It is a free internet TV station that streams all sorts of stuff. They have a channel of 4K. They have a whole channel devoted to Mystery Science Theater 3000 reruns. But there is...
Isn't there a channel of people bathing or showering?
No, that's Kalupi. That's Kalupi.
Okay.
That's called Pornhub.
Short-term, soft-core music videos of women running around in their bikinis. It is real awkward and hilarious. It's on the Eye Candy channel. Listen, I'm telling you, I haven't had real cable in years. But anyway, for my last recommendation, check out the Degrassi, The Next Generation channel on Pluto TV. I have watched it is just been a mainstay. I've watched more Degrassi, The Next Generation than anything.
Is that the Drake? Drake was on that, right? Yes.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Matt. You know,
That's what made Drake.
The Next Generation. When he says started from the bottom, now he's here. That was the bottom.
He played a wheelchair guy, right?
Well, not always. He was shot in a school shooting, Matt. See, this is why you need to watch it on the Pluto channel.
In Canada? There's no school shootings in Canada. This is farce. This is a lie.
They had to stretch things to stay relevant globally, but man, is it good. It is so bad.
I'm relatively ambivalent on like Kroll Show, but his send-up of Degrassi,
yes.
where he's like in the wheelchair, he's just like, I'm in this wheelchair. It's terrible.
There's a whole subplot where Kevin Smith comes to Canada and shoots in their school.
He was like there. He kept the show on air practically because he was such a huge fan of it.
Listen. It is. If you've never seen Degrassi, it is so ridiculous. It's Canadian high school melodrama. It's like a soap opera
that you're gonna watch 14 seasons of.
Well, listen, I've seen them all, and the OG is garbage, but the Next Generation, it's a wide umbrella, Matt. It's not just Drake.
First of all, don't
shit. Brev shows up later on.
Don't shit on the original, and second of all, make sure to always give some love to 15, which was one of the original Canadian soap operas that used to appear on Nickelodeon with a young Ryan Reynolds.
Right? Wasn't as good?
No, it was better than anything. Better than anything on TV.
Is awful, and that.
How dare
doesn't
you?
Deserve to be mentioned, but the new generation is the one.
Well, we just lost all of our Canadian fans, Nick. So thanks a lot.
No, the Canadians know that They agree with me. Real Canadians would.
Nick, Beth just said you're right.
See, I knew of anything being about to be on the same page on Degrassi, The Next Generation.
Yep.
Well,
I'm not surprised.
Congratulations.
Same page.
So everyone rush out and watch Degrassi, The Next Generation, 14 seasons.
Degrassi. It goes there.
Anyway, I don't even want to give picks after that. No,
you can't beat them.
I can't. Well, I think Last Man on Earth is a great suggestion. It's a really good watch for anyone who's just kind of breezed through the whole thing. I know some of you out there, specifically Casey and a couple of others, have asked for like just what is like the breeziest comedy, just full out funny things, so we can kind of not focus on the terrible that's out there.
The fucking world.
So that is a great one, a great one to do.
So if you want to escape from our new reality, quarantine, and possibly the human race dying off, watch Last Man on Earth.
That's
the story about a virus that starts in 2020,
and then everyone starts to come together and rebuild, and it's a happy story. But
and it's funny, you know, one of the first times that I felt a ramification of this professionally was I canceled a flight to Tucson, which plays prominently in the plot of Last Man on Earth as well.
Yeah, it's a really fun show. It has maybe one of the best pilots, specifically, that I think I've seen in a long time. It's Lord and Miller, the guys behind the Lego Movie, who half directed the Han Solo movie before being taken off of it. But super funny guys, very funny guys. For my recommendations, it just showed up amazingly enough with the season 2. I had no idea they were even doing it. A show called Black Monday, produced and written by Seth Rogen and his writing partner Evan Goldberg, about stock market crash in the 80s with Don Cheadle and Andrew Rannells and a bunch of other amazing comedians.
It's not topical at all.
Yeah. It's but it is highly funny, and I will say I'm so glad they've brought back Ken Marino in season 2 as the Lehman Brothers. He plays both of them. They are twins and they are buffoons, and it's amazing.
And if you haven't seen Party Down, throw that on your list too.
Yeah, Party Down is another great suggestion for something to binge. God, that's a great fun show to binge. I will always recommend anything by Michael Schur, which is all out there right now. The Good Place, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Parks and Rec. Anything he touches is guaranteed to make you laugh. Also will say Sex Education, I really liked on Netflix. They just did their season 2. It's a really solid show if you're looking for that. And if you want to go old school, if you've never watched Sports Night and you're missing sports right now, I would dive into some Sports Night. That is one of the most
best shows ever made.
It's also one of the most fun binges ever.
It's a show about sports, but it's not about sports at all.
Mm-hmm. And it has a laugh track for like for a quarter of the episodes, and then it goes away because it doesn't need it.
It reminds me of another Peter Krause vehicle where the first pilot of 6 Feet Under had these jokey funeral commercials, and they abandoned that because they realized like it's funny. We don't have to beat our audience over the head with it.
Are you implying that Alan Ball actually didn't know what he was doing?
Sports Night is super fun.
That Florida State education to the bank.
Just watch True Blood, and you'll know the answer to that question.
I enjoyed True Blood up to a certain point.
I did as well, and then I didn't.
Womp, womp.
We'll give you some more as we get along, but those should get you started for sure. And yeah, you guys missing sports out there. Sports Night's it's not really going to scratch that itch too much, but if you're a Sports Center fan, it might a little bit.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, like especially like when they did the draft day episode. I love that where everything's just like super all about draft day.
If it rains in Indian Wells, they're covering the second round of the draft. I was just in Indian Wells for my cousin.
Oh my god! Wow,
wedding.
Very, very nicely done.
Wow.
And I remembered Sports Night randomly because I was in Indian Wells. So it's so funny you bring that up. It is really just one of my favorite shows ever. Yeah, I love that show.
It's such a good show.
And it's like I think a lot of people came to it late in the game. I know I had seen it a little bit when it was on air, and then I caught up with it later on, and it's very bingeable and very good and awesome.
And of course, I always loved it because Josh Charles, one of the stars of the show, is from Baltimore, and they would always sneak in like an Orioles reference when there shouldn't have been, and you knew who was behind it.
Josh Charles is so good in that role that you're like, I wish you'd gone to Sports Center, like playing kind of the Kilborn-ish, a little bit of those days of Sports Center and the stuff. It's good times. But we got to get to our topic for the podcast, and it's something not related at all to what's going on right now. It's Contagious Movies is what I've named it. And yes, of course, we are going to talk about movies about spreading viruses and things like that, because I think getting out there,
like movies that suck that everybody watches and everyone likes, and it just continues to suck and suck and suck.
Like Avatar.
I was thinking Avatar, yeah. Or Jurassic World.
Does a movie with a character named Cyrus the Virus count towards this theme?
You know what? I'm gonna...
if you bring up Con Air on this fucking podcast,
I just did, baby.
Consider yourself disowned.
No,
I just fucking did, baby.
First of all, right, that is not
you.
shared by one of the creators of the podcast who considers that his favorite guilty pleasure of all time. If there's anything that's going to inspire joy in me, it is Con fucking Air. It is a pleasure. It is a fucking pleasure. All right. So
the shot where Nick Cage's hair is blowing in slow motion,
just fucking gorgeous.
Why don't you put the buddy back in the box?
The accent work alone in that film is magnifique. Now I'm gonna make a rare proclamation for tonight's podcast. Is we're going to be a little loose with the rules of this, because I think when you're looking at movies we look at a lot of movies that are post-apocalyptic, and there are a lot of movies that are pre-apocalyptic, and there are movies that are taking place over both of those. And I think that Contagion-style movies, typically you're going to be thinking of things that happen before an event happens.
Yeah. So you have two major movies, Contagion and Outbreak, right?
We have to, and we're going to lead off with those absolutely right now. Let's get into that. Yeah, because there are two kings of the mountain on this. They are very
and you know, guys, I'd never seen either of these movies, but I watched both of them in preparation.
Oh, you watched both?
Podcast.
Oh, I'm super excited. How much of a stiffy did you get when Outbreak opened in Maryland?
Well, you know, in the same way when I found out Hannibal Lecter was from Baltimore, it's like, it's pretty good, pretty cool. I guess.
We'll go about them in order, because I think they are both very much a product of their time, and it is interesting that there are so many things that parallel what we are seeing now, and so many that are very far-fetched and very different concerns that it's clear that they had during these times. So Outbreak is very much the military complex, and it's concerned a lot with biological warfare, which does pop up a little bit in a weird way in Contagion as well. But Outbreak is very much about the military, and the idea. And I didn't know, because I looked it up when I rewatched the movie, that there are these military scientists basically they're like a mirror to the CDC that study all of these things in terms of biological warfare.
So there's a predecessor to Outbreak, which is the Andromeda
Oh
strain.
yeah, that's
I mean,
right.
the Andromeda strain is really like I think the OG like.
Well, yeah,
the government is taking shit
I've got
over.
it on here. I want to get into that one too, because that was the first I saw and read. But let's yeah.
But all I was saying is that like it's all entirely like government regulated. Like the government moves in,
Yeah.
the government takes over, whether it's good or bad, and and leaves the people at risk no matter what their issue is.
Well, and I think
and that's what Outbreak does. Contagion is a completely different movie in my opinion.
It is. Well, an Outbreak is also not so. It's not even so much. It is government, yes, but it's military specifically. It's not like it's. So we can talk about the
Andromeda strain. It's military. It's high level military.
And we can talk.
When I was watching these for the first time, Matt, I had not seen either of them, and my main takeaway is that Outbreak was like they wanted to make a movie about a contagious virus, and the director was like, "Yeah, but that's not going to be enough to make a compelling movie. We got to have a subplot with the military." And then Steven Soderbergh's like, "No, we can make a compelling movie."
Can I make an analogy?
Okay.
I feel like the Outbreak is the Jurassic Park of contagious virus movies, and that Contagion is the primer of sci-fi movies.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a thinking man's, and so it helps to kind of understand a little bit about what Outbreak was originally planned to be. So Outbreak is directed by Wolfgang Peterson. Originally, the Dustin Hoffman role was being shopped out to Harrison Ford, was the number one choice. Other choices were Mel Gibson, Sylvester Stallone. It was supposed to be an action movie star in it, and then Hoffman got brought on and they rewrote half the movie, which is why you're very right, Nick. It feels very much like two movies arguing against each other, because the first half of that movie is fairly compelling. There's some interesting shot design. They do that great tracking shot through the military medical base. It's done on like a one shot where they're going into all like bio level 1, bio level 2. You're getting the idea of all the infectious diseases. There's the shitty subplot with the husband and the wife, which doesn't make any sense. But like there are a lot of things on there that are kind of done correctly. And I remember a lot of it when I saw that as a kid. There were major moments that stuck with me. One of the main ones is there's an amazing shot in it, especially for the time. It was a huge deal. The shot in the movie theater. And it's basically a guy goes to a movie. He's sick. He coughs, and it follows his like virus chain around the movie theater to all of these different people. Like, and it's super eerie. You also have to think.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that shot to me, Matt? When I watched it, I watched Contagion first.
Okay.
Followed by Outbreak.
You should not have done that.
I wish I had done the other way around, because to me, you have how they juxtapose how they show the virus spreading. It's piecing together an invisible enemy, whereas Outbreak really tried to make it visible. Really made it. And to me, it's not as scary as just seeing a clip of Gwyneth Paltrow touching a surface and then seeing security cam footage of someone touching the same footage. That, especially given the current events, gave me way more of a...
It's so insane, though, like how accurate that is, though. Like how like infectious disease people are like, oh, that's how it starts.
Yeah.
Like that's literally how it starts. It's obvious that they did their like homework, you know, and they like wanted to make it as authentic as possible.
The last shot of Contagion is the first exposure. You know?
Yeah, the day one. And we'll get to Contagion in just a second. I want to do both of these. You guys. So one thing you have to remember about Outbreak is the balls of a filmmaker setting one of their major set pieces of the spreading of the disease in a fucking movie theater to a huge blockbuster movie being shown in a movie. Like, you have to understand what that was like going to this thing, and everyone's looking around. Like, the fucking first person to cough during that scene is now like fucking like it is such a great funhouse horror movie moment, and it's handled very differently than when Contagion's this like bamboo under the fingernails, and Outbreak's just like hits you over the head with it.
I like if you watch whatever it is, GQ or whatever that does the like, we interview experts about these certain movies or whatever, but there was like a Contagious virus expert who was watching all of these movies, and there's the scene where they shoot the monkey, with the dart.
I thought they shot the monkey.
He was like that monkey deserved an Oscar, man. He was like, first off, that monkey is not. He was like, first off, that monkey doesn't live in Africa. So it's like a capuchin monkey. That's an Asian monkey. So first off, they got their locations wrong. But it just extrapolates the whole thing from there.
Yeah, but it winds up being a sillier movie than I think it maybe. Who knows what they set out to do with it? The whole last half of the movie is a helicopter chase, and they do some amazing helicopter stunt work in it. I will say.
But you do have Dustin Hoffman and Morgan Freeman and Rene Russo and like all these people doing pretty good work. It's not like it's a bad.
No, it's good.
And inexplicably red-haired Kevin Spacey. I don't know why that was.
Both movies have an incredible cast, but again, like
He Who Shall Not Be Named.
The big difference is an Outbreak. Like a big part of it is like seeing Kevin Spacey contrive it super visceral, and he knows when he got it too. But it's like the scary thing about Contagious, like you don't know when you get it, and that's the whole point. Is if you what would happen if we could go back and trace the exact moment?
Side note: if you want to have a love-hate relationship with Kevin Spacey, watch The Negotiator again, because I watched it
I will not.
Like last weekend. That movie is so fucking good, and he is so good in that movie, and Samuel L. Jackson is so good in that movie.
I actually saw that movie in the theater, but we digress.
I saw my parents.
Yeah, it's no. I mean, I think the other scene that stuck with me a lot in Outbreak is when she pricks herself with the needle, and she's like, "It didn't go through the second glove. It didn't go through the second glove." And when she's like taking off all the layers of stuff, and she gets down to the one and there's blood underneath, I was just like, "Oh my god!"
That's what got me. It's like where he says that they have the vaccine, but they don't really know it, and he just takes his mask off, and he's right in front of her.
Yeah, which is amazing. They sort of have both. They have that moment in both the movies. So yeah, so let's move on to Contagion. Definitely the better of the two. And Contagion is also funny for me on a personal level because I remember there were all these things happened around the time that movie came out. One, I just started working at Native Remedies that year, so I was working for a homeopathic medicine company, which is a very big subplot with Jude Law in Contagion. Right. The other thing was that I went and saw that movie with this. I went on like a third date with this girl to Contagion. And we were leaving. I told Ben this story. We were leaving the movie theater, and I don't know what I made. I was half joking, probably half serious, but I was like, because you get out of that movie, like, holy shit, that's kind of an intense experience of all these things. Like what would you do in those situations? And I was like, oh, I'd be a complete mess. I was like, I wouldn't go anywhere near those sick people and all these things. And she was like, she got very turned off by she's like, I come from like my dad's a mechanic and he's a man's man. So she like broke it off after that because my reaction to Contagion was not manly enough for her, which that sort of cracked me up. But that was also, and Contagion was also the impetus for Ches nicknaming me Drunk Memento because I kept making jokes about Contagion on a Halloween Horror Nights trip, and I kept repeating them and forgetting I did them. But so Contagion is Steven Soderbergh, 2011, ridiculous cast: Gwyneth Paltrow, Kate Winslet, Matt Damon, John Hawkes, Lawrence Fishburne, Jude Law, Dimitri Martin, Elliot Gold. Like
I thought that was Dimitri Martin.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
Dimitri and Jennifer L as the two CDC folks.
Wow.
The cast is great. Bryan Cranston, who like barely even gets any billing in it because it was Breaking Bad hadn't quite hit huge, even though it had been on for like 3 seasons at that point. It's great, and there is a military aspect to it, but it's definitely different, and it's much more mirrors kind of what and that's what's I think the interesting thing to look at for what's happening now, right? Like we are definitely dealing with a government that has reacted slowly and poorly and been parts of misinformation, but it's not the way it happens in the movie. The movies is always like it's this government that's trying to control it and all of these things versus ours is almost the opposite, of this. Like our government is backwards on everything. They're not like trying to. They're poo-pooing it, but they're not like hiding it for their own like benefit or gain. It's very strange. Which I think there'll be a different type of this movie that we'll have one of these, of course. And Contagion's interesting because Contagion's really a reaction to both the swine flu and to 9/11. Because that's the big thing that's happening with the government and Contagion. That's what's holding them back is they think it's biological warfare. And they're slow to react because they don't want to panic the public that this is an attack.
That was a conversation with COVID-19. That was out there in the ether at one point. I think today's day and age, that's going to be in the back of people's heads whenever a new strain of flu or something like this happens. By the way, this is breaking.
Uh-oh.
LA County issues new safer at home restrictions. There's a press conference happening at this moment. I'm getting a bunch of texts from people.
Wow.
And they are closing all non-essential businesses at midnight tonight. They are limiting non-essential travel. So basically, it's not a technical lockdown, but it looks like we're moving that way.
What do you think? How do you think they're classifying non-essential business? That's kind of curious.
That is really funny.
Yeah.
I texted Ben, and I go, does that include the cannabis dispensaries? I wonder.
Yeah.
And that is to be decided. I imagine we're talking about. I mean, and how do you tell one business that makes food, a bar that makes food,
yeah,
and now it's going to be their only revenue if someone like that, fried chicken sandwich there with their beer, how can you tell them they can't operate but that a restaurant can? How do you make that decision?
Yeah.
It's gonna be real interesting, but it's literally on the press conference is ongoing right now. So big things are happening in LA and it'll into effect tonight at midnight.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen here. We've got the no groups greater than 10. The restaurants other than delivery shut down.
Well, it's coming. Well, yeah. Even more is coming for you guys, especially after the spring break.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome.
Thanks for California.
It's like that Kids in the Hall sketch.
Well, it's this damn California virus. I just don't trust it, and I don't like it. But no, it's.
I
funny.
don't like California.
I don't.
Oh, by the way, real quick, I'm sorry. This has been frenetic, and we're just cutting each other off.
Sure.
Times are tense, Matt. You gotta. It is what it is. If you also want some levity, definitely go to Arnold Schwarzenegger's Instagram page. He is posting updates where he's like, now I'm in the at-risk group. If you're older than 65, stay home.
That's amazing.
Meanwhile, he's got his tiny little fucking Yorkie running around in the background like it's like a chick with his head cut off. He's smoking a stogie. He's got a sheriff's hat on. Not a sheriff's hat. It's a baseball hat that says sheriff on it.
Yes.
Swear to God. And he's like, what's the problem? Just stay home. It's great. You stay in your jacuzzi and your hot tub. You have a stogie. It's great.
Well,
it's so comedically tone deaf. You've got to see it. I'm telling you.
So I think what.
Watch the Gal Gadot. I mean,
I was going to say, like, if we'll do our little pause on this here to go back to the coronavirus here for a bit. But yeah, there's a lot of amazing humor and art and things that are going to come out of this. It always happens with things. It doesn't make it that we're happy that this event is happening, but there are plenty of things to focus on to help you go with things. There's a great video from Gal Gadot where she's gotten to get, and I love, my favorite thing about the video is it's very clearly like a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Like you can see the splintering off of like, oh, she was in a movie with these two people. They must have gotten these two other people on, but basically singing the Beatles' Imagine. Or John Lennon's Imagine? Is it just Lennon, or is it the Beatles as a whole?
It's just Lennon.
Lennon's Imagine. Imagine is a Beatles song, right? No,
it's a Lennon song.
And so yeah, it's them singing that. You've got that. There's an amazing commercial with Mel Brooks' son, where they're talking about how Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner are in the danger zone, and we could kill off some of the greatest comedy that's ever existed if we get them sick, which is a really great one. What are some of the other celebrity? It's interesting to watch what's going on.
Arnold. Schwarzenegger in a hot tub.
The other thing is to look at all of the late night guys. So Daily Show, Kimmel, and Fallon are all recording from home now, which are super funny. I love like they've put together like fake intros that their kids have done for them, or they put like everything is all low budget, low rent, and they're great. Like they really, really are funny. John Oliver
for sure.
Did his on the stark white background. He kind of went the other avenue on it, but it's an amazing piece of work. Which now we'll see what he comes back with. He seemed to seem like it was going to be a long hiatus, but these other guys are kind of saying, what, we're going to do 10 or 15 minutes here or 30 minutes here, whatever we can. It's not a show; it's just something. You guys watch everything on the web anyway, so fuck it. Watch this like 10-minute thing we're going to do here.
I like seeing celebrities do that type of thing. Another person that's been active on Instagram is Miley Cyrus,
nice.
Who has, in the wake of this, every day has had a new guest, one of whom I interviewed the other day, Benny. But
I saw that.
They get on, Instagram Live on a dual screen, and they'll talk like an hour about what are they doing to stay safe and trying to make jokes that entertain. I actually super respect that, because you have these essential workers who are stocking the shelves and the medical staff that are putting themselves at risk to help us at our time of need. But when you think about a celebrity, what does a celebrity have to do? They shut down their movie, and it's a bummer, but now they have these palatial estates where they can just relax and do whatever they want, like Arnold Schwarzenegger. But Miley's creating. She literally invented a talk show with a logo that now she's hosting, and she just gets her friends to come on, and it's to keep everyone informed. You can tell she does her homework. I super respect that. I want to see actors and content creators really taking advantage of this, especially when they're really well off. And grade A celebrities, it is a good service, public service at this point when people are freaked out.
Yeah, absolutely. We are. Everyone's hungry for something to distract from everything that's going on, and it's as much as you're working from home as well, it's like that can't be everything. It can't just be like, well, I'll just distract myself with work. It's not sustainable. But yeah,
Yano wrote a song about that.
This is true. It's one of my favorites.
You know what, guys? We should use this extra time. We should do a musical episode at some point.
We're working on it. On it, Nick.
Imagine that.
Oh, we are.
We're not sure exactly how, when, where, and how. Again, we're gonna do it. But we are all working on our musicals, and we have a little extra time here to work on them. So we'll figure that one out. But back on to a little bit of the podcast before we probably have another a breaking news alert, which is fine. That's not normal for us, but it's kind of interesting. To put the pin on Contagion, I think Contagion is. I think Contagion would have been.
You know what? I want to talk about Arnold Schwarzenegger for a second. It's okay, buddy. We're gonna get to it.
I feel Contagion's getting a second life now, which I think is kind of great, because one of the reasons Contagion I think didn't do as big as it could is they used a terrible moment in the trailer that they trusted the audience more than they should have, but they do the bit with Matt Damon going up and they're like, we're sorry, we tried everything can, but she's dead, and he's like, well, can I talk to her? And in the theater, everyone laughed. Everyone laughed in that trailer for that theater.
Matt.
Yes.
His name is Matt Damon.
Is it the Skype that does it to you guys?
Yeah,
what is it? It's
you can't hold the microphone so close. You're holding it like a sideline reporter.
That's better.
So close. There you go. Keep some distance, buddy.
Hi.
Like Andre the Giant over there.
He's holding a Yeti microphone without the stand freehand.
We have no stand.
It just looks like a big old dick in his hand. Yeah. But it's interesting. But yeah,
the furthest thing from here is the stand.
So the problem is I know I was in a theater once when the Contagion preview came on, and that scene happens and someone literally goes, Matt Damon, and just makes it look even dumber. And I'm like, oh, this is a poor choice.
All the movies though where he looks is supposed to look dumb. This is the movie.
He does. It's where he looked the most like me.
His wife is cheating on him, and he's like, "What? Yeah, I'm Matt Damon."
He really does have also
zero
just
arc in the movie.
he has the shittiest like arc in it. Like his wife was patient zero. He finds out she was cheating. She gives it to the son. She kills the son. He's left with a daughter, and just like it's like I'm Matt Damon. Like even Wisconsin won't take him. Wisconsin turns him away. They say no, Matt Damon, go back to Illinois. Wisconsin will not have you right now. That is your low point. That is the Matt Damon low point when Wisconsin says no, we're okay. Go back.
We're good.
We're good.
We're good.
No,
Yeah,
no,
when
no,
the Mars Cheese Castle
Mr.
turns you
Damon.
away.
Go home. What's interesting with these pre-apocalyptic and contagion movies is that there was a big crossover with zombie movies, which are at their base are essentially movies about a virus or an epidemic that overtakes things. I think some are more
They weren't
like
original.
that.
That's
Yeah.
what it became.
I think it had been approached in the past, but I think 28 Days Later
I
made
agree.
it a popular new chapter of the zombie handbook. Is that also infected blood can drop in your eye, and that's also a way you could be a zombie.
Yeah.
That had been broached before, but man, after that movie, that became a viable way.
Yeah, I think it was
With
kind of a
zombie
1-2
apocalypse.
punch between 12 Monkeys and then going into 28 Days Later. And I love 28 Days Later. I think it is such an effective little movie. And it is a small
I
movie.
remember that Allison Carter and Steve Slovacek drove up to Atlanta because they got tickets to go see that on opening night. And they came back and they were just like, it's going to change like zombie movies forever. And I was just like, okay, fine, sure. Yeah, it's going to change zombie movies forever. And I watched it. I was just like, oh, shit, it's going to change zombie movies forever.
Well, because they take what you think is kind of written in a Bible, and they flipped it on its head. Now, you're not getting bit. It's like a virus is how you become a zombie. And then not only that, once you are, you can run at normal speed. I mean, we're just going to break every convention. Speed. Yeah, we're going to break every convention and reinvent what is a zombie? What's your definition?
To be fair, I mean, a lot of that was Alex Garland. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know. You heard that?
No, we didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I'm sure you didn't hear anything.
We're trying not to bring up the hiccups, but I can't any longer.
That was Ben just opening a little cork on a bottle.
I had the hiccups literally for like 9 hours.
It's intense. I gotta say.
Guys,
I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry for our. Yeah.
All right, update.
So basically, now the big difference is that LA County, it is now punishable by law if they catch you operating. I don't know what it means for civilians yet because we're not on lockdown yet, but they are enforcing.
Punish you.
Well, no, that's not true. That's not true. But maybe.
Matt, you liked it. You liked it.
I lost control. Of
course you have.
I have.
We've all lost control. That's where we're at right now.
So listen, there are. I'm gonna very. God Almighty. Oh man, alive.
The laugh of it.
Oh man,
so good. It's so good.
So I'm.
Wait, is that pirates? What is that?
I kind of want to. I want to dig back more into this Corona thing here with us instead of the movie side of it. Just for those of you.
I'm afraid of catching COVID-19. We're not even watching out for a case of the giggles.
This is true. I will just say on the movie front, 28 Days Later is the gold standard of zombie movies as a contagion. If you're looking for other good contagion movies, Andromeda Strain is a great watch. 12 Monkeys, great watch. The Stand, which is more about the post-apocalyptic side of it.
It isn't a great watch, though.
It's an interesting watch. The book is better.
I used to think it was Andromeda Train, and it was about a conductor, and I never got into it.
There is one, before we get back to actual conversation.
The great Andromeda Train robbery.
It's true. The Michael Crichton double feature is perfect. Ben, were you the one that recommended The Bay to me? Your mic cut out. Cannot hear you.
No, he's fumbling with the microphone.
I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah, I was.
Yeah, so the Bay is actually a pretty effective contagion found footage movie. Really about a spreading virus during a 4th of July celebration at like a fishing town. That I was pretty sure I remember that it was you. I did not know that it starred Lindsay from You're the Worst. I did not remember she was in the cast of it, so I kind of want to go back and watch that one. But those are some movies you can watch. If you want to hear us talk about more about that, let us know.
Another good one is The Signal, which is has Olivia, what's her face in it, who was later in
Newton-John
Spielberg movie.
Yeah, Olivia. She was in War of the Worlds, and her last name is escaping me. But
not War of the Worlds, but she was in the most recent, like whatever. Anyways,
the one from Meet Earl and the Dying Girl. She's the dying girl.
Do a headstand and drink a glass of water.
So I want to
try everything.
So we if you want to hear more about our talk on movies and this, you can let us know. But I kind of want to go back to the COVID stuff here, right? Because I have an important question for you guys. I'm very curious about your response to it. How do you feel about the government stepping in more right now to actually police people and force them to stay at home?
Needs to happen. It's sad, but we can't trust
all
ourselves.
That Nick ever wanted.
It's not though. That's what's kind of interesting.
The thing. Look at the beaches in Florida as an example, right? You close South Beach, you leave Clearwater open, and it's like a normal spring day on the beach, right? We can't trust ourselves we don't know what's best for us in any way as Americans.
Nick, if you were 21 years old, you would probably be down there. You'd just be like, I just got to get my dick wet.
That is, I mean, I get the joke, but it absolutely was not me. And I feel like an old crotchety old man. I'm like, get off my lawn. But like, if you told me at 21 that my spring break was canceled out of the safety of my parents and people their age and my grandparents, and that even though I might not even feel symptoms, I could literally kill somebody, my ass would be inside.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
you realize I'm just egging you on.
I know, but it really does. It really does speak to the look. You see it, and it's not just millennials. It was boomers at first too, and now people are starting to buy in, which is great. But look, do I wish that we would? I like as little government as possible, but in this case,
but if there was a guarantee you can get that dick wet.
Okay, all right. That's we're gonna
different. If you're saying it's a guarantee, that's different. Guarantee, 100%.
What if it's wet with Corona? That's not good. That's the wrong kind of wet. So I don't like this joke. Anyway, let's go back to the actual serious discussion. No, I'm 100% with you, Nick, as well.
Nick, I'm glad that you were on board with that joke.
God bless you.
I see you.
Ben tried to spread that joke like Corona, and I just tried to flatten the curve as much as I could because it was terrible. I think it is interesting because I agree. I think I probably was the same in my youth, and I don't think I cared enough about spring break. Wasn't as important to me. Now, it's interesting to think about things that are maybe more important to you than spring break, about whether you would make the right decisions as a young person. Like you could go see, I don't know, Oingo Boingo in like a 100 person concert. And they're still going to go on. Do you go or do you stay at home and do the right thing?
Well, I mean, I went to a Tame Impala concert at the LA Forum on March 10th.
Yeah, that was 10 days ago.
Yeah, 10 days ago. And it was, a sold-out show. And it is literally the last major concert in Los Angeles for a very long time. Yeah. I think he played one more show on the 11th, and then the restrictions started flying in. And I was going to see, I had tickets to see The Rapture at a smaller venue, and they canceled hours before, like an hour and a half before they were supposed to go on. So they were clearly milking it, trying to see if they could get away with it, and people getting too nervous, and things had just changed. So I was actually a little nervous and was really keeping to myself. I didn't go to a friend's child's birthday party, which half the people canceled to the day of. Things started happening very fast here. and I was worried I was going to start seeing symptoms because, I mean, pretty much the most populous part of Los Angeles were these Tame Impala concerts for 2 nights in a row.
No, and I mean, I did the same. I was out in Houston, and I went out and went to a bar with Ryan, and went to one place. But I'm sitting there with sanitizer on the counter and fucking doing my shit. But I'm also like watching a lot of people not doing that, and I started to feel just increasingly weirder and more uncomfortable there as it went on. So the next day, I just locked myself in my hotel room all day.
I sent Ryan some beer today.
Yeah, like I felt weird, and I worked to get a flight home. I lost a shit ton of money because the airlines and my credit card company suck. But I was like, I want to get home. Like I don't like being out here. I don't like, like I venture out to like get a food delivery and I'm spraying everything. I mean, I'm still doing that, here to an extent. Like I literally the shipment that just came in from Total Wine, it's been sprayed and it's sitting for like 2 days or 3 days or 4 days. So I'm just not touching it. Like I don't need it anyway right now, but I'm overly cautious now. I had to fly last Sunday, which, is bizarre, although it's the first time I've flown on like a quarter full flight.
What's scary to me, but what do you think about this? I have a theory. A couple, articles sort of flying off the shelves about, some scientists say prepare for a year of social distancing, and all these sensationalists. We don't have any real information to back any of this up yet. But you started seeing these like, well, strap in, it could be a while type articles, right? My big fear is that we're seeing people ignore it. We're going to see government start to step in, and at that point, it'll start to be a little bit too late. My biggest fear is we actually do socially distance and businesses are closed for months. Let's say 2 months, right? Do you think, knowing our government, our administration right now, and all the what's going on, 2 months of actually practicing social distancing, at a certain point, I feel like America would just be like, look, we did it for 2 whole months. What else can we do? We got to get back to business as usual. The big special interests will be putting pressure on the president. Money will change hands. And I'm afraid that, like, we'll try for a little bit, try for a month or two, and like, we're Americans. Fuck this.
That's a pretty loaded question.
Well, it is, but
the only hope I have from that is how things went in China. In China, China went through it way worse than us.
China, the difference between China and the U.S. is right now we're looking at, if we treated this as if it was nothing, okay, made no special precautions, 80% of Americans would contract COVID-19 and 9 million people would die in America. If we socially distance and we take precautions and we use, then we're talking about 2 million deaths.
Yeah.
So we're talking about, the difference of millions and millions of lives. In China, it's like a forest fire. It's like we can still kind of mitigate and stop it before it spreads, but it's kind of like in China, the fire just kind of went through, and now they're starting up again. And what's crazy is Italy still surpassed them in the death count.
Yeah,
which is crazy to be a whole country of China, and Italy's going to have more. You never know. You never know how it's going to affect a region.
and there are some things that are very different about, and the things that I'm kind of curious about that no one's really kind of like laying into too much is it's hard. We can't compare ourselves to Italy. Italy is not based around driving and cars and the frequent use of automobiles and commuting the way that we do. No other country really is set up in the way that we are set up and how we are sort of distanced. Public transportation sucks here. It might be the one thing that saves us in the end of all of this is that we don't have great mass public transportation. We do in certain areas, which is why you see the largest numbers being in New York. You see it out in L.A., where you guys have an underground. You see it in Chicago and in Illinois. And now, what's really interesting to me,
mass transit. What are you talking about?
There's some mass transit out there. Nick Santacroce introduced me to this.
I actually have been taking it quite a bit because I live right at the stop, and now who knows the next time I'll step foot in a public transit.
The one state I really want to dig into at some point, because I have several friends that live in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania has been at the top of shutting shit down, like at every step of this thing, and they are like militant.
And Maryland, Governor Larry Hogan has been really leading the charge. That whole area.
If you look at the 1918 flu outbreak, if you do St. Louis versus Philly, I think Philly still feels from 100 years ago. The fact that like
it's crazy. Like they are on
the Spanish virus. Thanks, Spain.
My friend Dr. Rick out there was actually saying that they have a bunch of fear for alcoholics going to withdrawal because they've made it so difficult to get anything out there, and especially liquor. Liquor is really a hard thing from the get. They can't ship over state lines. A lot of liquor places are not shipping. It's a weird thing to be concerned about. But they are cracking down and locking down a lot in that state.
Maybe this virus will stop dry states.
Yeah, you never know.
And also, I want to clarify.
Only hope.
I want to clarify. The joke was, I believe, everyone's calling it the Chinese virus, and everyone's saying don't be racist and call it what it is. The Spanish flu, I believe, the first case was in Kansas. So I was making a joke. That is not actually Spanish flu.
It's the Spanish fly.
Nick,
wait, that's Spanish Flea from Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass Ensemble.
Nick would not have slept soundly tonight if he had not been able to explain his Spanish.
I wouldn't have slept soundly unless I had a Spanish fly joke.
No, and I'm pretty sure Nick would also not have slept soundly if not making a Spanish flea joke. So we made sure that Nick's going to have at least 2 nights of good sleep.
Every episode, I will wake up in the middle of the night and I go, fuck, I said that.
My dicky stuff.
He was a little Spanish flea.
Oh, that reminds me. Did you say Little Dicky? What did you say?
Oh, there is a Little Dicky show on FX right now. I do not want to watch it.
Binge it. It's great.
I don't like him, but
you don't like him?
I'm not a fan.
Oh, I like it. I think it's funny. It's a funny show.
I haven't seen the show, but I don't. My brother's friend recommended it, and I saw that.
I never liked Nick Kroll and John Mulaney, so I came around.
Oh, fuck you!
All right, buddy.
Get out of my house right now! How dare you?
Well, that's your problem.
Oh, that's another one. If you have not watched Sack Lunch Bunch,
I think that
watch
Nick
Sack Lunch Bunch.
Too much tuna.
I realize I think instead of seeing movies this year, I've literally just watched Sack Bunch Lunch with a different person every weekend, and just like, have you seen this? Let's do it right now. I've probably watched that more than anything this entire year.
It's heartwarming. It truly is.
I do like how Nick Kroll is like, he says it's hard to work with John Mulaney because John Mulaney is so fast.
Yeah, I'll believe it, man.
It's like, oh, that ups my game as like a comedian. Like, he's way funnier than I am.
He is.
Just it's that. I'm like, okay, that's pretty awesome.
It's a
I would say Mulaney is the Trey Parker and Matt Stone is Nick Kroll.
Pretty good analogy.
I like Nick Kroll. I like what Kroll's doing on Big Mouth a lot. So I did not like Kroll's show, but I love Big Mouth.
I mean, there's no South Park without Matt Stone, but who's the real creative genius?
Yeah, but except that Nick Kroll is Big Mouth. It's not Mulaney. Mulaney's just a voice actor on it. He doesn't write or produce any of it.
Well, Chick-fil-A didn't invent the chicken sandwich, Matt.
Did Ben just give me I knew that. You just give me attitude, you hiccuping motherfucker over there? On your goddamn big dick mic? You shut your fucking trap right now. Maybe social distancing, but I will put you in your place, son.
That should be his next band name. Ben Wilson and the Hiccup Motherfuckers. The Hiccuping Motherfuckers.
Fucking asshole. How dare you? How dare you?
I like how
I am all Team Nick tonight, man.
And then
it is 100% points on Team Nick's side. You're at minus 12.
And it only took a pandemic to finally get you on my side.
That's
right. A global health crisis.
To be fair.
When the world ceased to exist, Nick came out on top.
To be fair.
When there's no one else left on the planet.
I the hardest I've ever laughed listening back to our podcast was when we did the shorts pants joke about...
God, that shorts, I listened to it so many times. It's so funny.
I love jean shorts, and I fucking lost it. I still right now. That's the funniest shit I've ever heard on the podcast. And thank you, Ryan, for listening to our podcast.
Oh yeah, Ryan
Through
is
that.
a big fan of hating and loving at the same time. That because I was
Did
like,
he genuinely not like that bit, or was
I go. There was disdain. If you listen, he goes, oh no, I listened like 100 times. I hear the disdain. It's great.
Okay, just keeping us honest. That's fine. That's fine.
Unfortunately, yeah, Ryan was going to hazard a trip out here tomorrow or Saturday that he wound up canceling. But we will listen. At some point, all of this will return to normal. I will say I've watched some other podcasts bigger than ours say we're not producing new content. It's the coronavirus. And what does the New Way say to that shit? Not today. We will stop producing content when we can't come up with it anymore and we get really slow and bogged down with other shit eventually, like always. But for right now, we're on like 8 in a row, so it's pretty great.
Listen. When our hiccups clear up, we're gonna get some fresh new content straight to your subscription.
Well, and I want to tell those of you that are on the kind of the Ben Wilson Beer Group side and the Nick Santa Croce side of listening to the podcast, I was talking to the Matt Schenk contenders and listeners of the show, and they were really interested in possibly doing their own cold readings. So I am actually working on producing with 6 of us, a cold readings roundtable that we can play live on an episode for us to listen to and enjoy.
You have to do is send them the reading, and they can just send it in via text, right? Or
No, not the erotic readings, the cold movie readings.
Cold readings.
Yeah,
I was thinking erotic readings. So,
you always are.
I couldn't wait to hear Dr. Rick do a...
I mean, they will do that too, but I also would like to hear a hiccuping Ben Wilson do one. She took off her pants. I was erect.
Oh God! Get that drop. The I was erect hiccup.
I was erect hiccup drop. I will do my best to find it. Listen, we hope everyone out there.
Are you saying they're going to be on the podcast?
We are going to actually record. So we're doing our Monday night happy hours at 9:30. And just getting on and hanging out and talking about stuff. And they said, hey, maybe one of the nights we could produce some content for the podcast. And I said, hey, how about we do...
How about you start your own fucking podcast? How about that? All right? Don't move in on our shit, okay? We're a finely tuned machine. We're glad you're enjoying our content, but how dare you? How dare all of you?
Wow.
Assume.
Wow.
There's protocol. You got to prove to me how much you want this job.
I mean, they have proved it. They listened to 2 episodes. That's pretty much all that proves it. So
tell them to send me a 2-minute reel and some writing samples. I will peruse them and I'll get back to you on my.
Sure, it's okay. Now we're gonna do just kind of a shortened version and cut it together and see what happens with it. Or if we want, we could have them each call in 1 episode at a time and share their own cold reading review with us. So we haven't figured out exactly how we're going to disperse the stuff, but they're just interested in listening to recommendations that we have of movies they maybe never heard of, and they're going to also try to give us some that we might not have heard of as well. So
I like it.
We could get some good content. We are working on our movie musicals right now. Nick is doing his election musical. I am doing my Roadhouse musical, and Ben is doing his Big Trouble in Little China musical. And he's lost his ability to speak again. Your voice has gone out, Ben.
You keep pressing the button and you mute it. Nope. He's trying to get.
Nope.
The cord is janky. You gotta make sure the cord's connected.
Yeah.
Jam it in there.
How is that coming along?
There you go.
How's yours coming along?
I haven't started.
Do you know who turned 69 today? Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell turned 69. Wow.
Someone told me that earlier. I gotta fact check this. Hold on a second.
It feels apropos.
I didn't know he was a Pisces. The water sign. Look at him.
Hey, he's a water sign. Makes your mama wet.
All right. Good Lord.
Jesus Christ.
God damn it, Matt.
Too much.
I was going to be the one who made a nasty...
He was born March 17th, 1951. So he was 69 2 days ago.
On Patty's.
69 and a
he's like,
quarter.
Speaking of St. Patrick's Day, it sounds like we're got a feisty little leprechaun over there still with the hiccup.
The irony is that I'm not even drunk. rid of my fucking hiccups.
And the viewers can't see you right now, but Ben is drinking out of a giant jug with 3 X's on it.
Topo, yeah, I was wondering if that was Topo Chico. Where'd you get it?
Beth got it from Winn-Dixie.
Oh, no shit. I know they sold it here at all.
Yeah.
Did they
I don't
name
get
that
the allure, but it's fine. It's fine.
Is that what they named Italian Mouse after that, right?
You do this joke every time, Nick. Every time. I'm waiting for it. I'm just waiting for the Popo Gijo Sarait joke every time. And
Kiss me goodnight.
Kiss me goodnight. Yeah, Sarait. Well, when we're talking about Kurt Russell's 69th birthday and Popo Gijo, that means it's time to cut off the podcast. Popo.
What a great time. I'm glad that all of you stuck with us through this entire podcast. Continue to hiccup.
Check back next time. Say bat play. Say bat time.
Best announcer ever. That velvety voice. Well, you're listening to New Way and yeah. So
well, the good news is you got some great material. The bad news is you got to go back and re-record the intro you had planned and insert some hiccups.
Oh no, I have not recorded the intro yet. So I'm primed to do that right now. It'll be perfect.
Perfect.
You have been listening to The New Way. We will continue to try to produce episodes for you as we have time and see fit to. If you have listen, you guys are all trapped at home now. I don't know if that hurts our viewership because you're not commuting anymore, but if you are looking for more podcast content, please reach out to us and tell us stuff that you want to hear or you want to hear us talk about that you think would entertain you for an hour and a half. We are great background noise while you're working from home with your wife and kids and your husband and kids and whoever else in your house there.
If you want our personal phone numbers, we'll distribute them. You can text with us.
That's not going to happen. I will not allow that. I will not do that. I am told you immediately I would not do that.
I will FaceTime with you if you contribute to our Patreon. I'm offering personal FaceTime sessions. $10 gets you a $30 gets you a 5-minute FaceTime.
And if you send us $300, we'll get you a specific Steve Gutenberg.
No, that's just for me. That is just for me.
No. Listen, the 300 works because Steve Gutenberg doesn't cost that much. We pocket the rest of it. We just we got this. And by the way, I must say,
that Steve Gutenberg only costs $175.
In 2.5 hours on East Coast time, there is a special event that is happening. It is Mr. Nick Santa Croce's birthday. So, Nick, we are torn apart that we cannot celebrate with you. You know we are there with you in our hearts. I will be sending you lots of texts tomorrow with all kinds of birthday goodies. So don't worry. You've not been forgotten over there on the West Coast.
Thank you, buddy.
And Ben and Beth, who were in attendance to my brother's birthday, and some of my friends who were in attendance to Mia's birthday, know that I have some connections to some celebrities that I may have also extended over to Mr. Nick Santa Croce. So just you fucking wait.
I
say that right now.
The irony is, Nick, today my dad texted me. I tried to FaceTime him, and he FaceTimed me, and he was just like, because I wanted to be like, hey, remember, you gotta call Nick tomorrow. And then him and right when that happened, Mark, our boss, walked in, and he was like, who are you FaceTiming? I was like, my dad. And so then my dad and Mark talked about fishing for like 5 minutes.
Wow.
I always got the impression your dad was more of a texter. Should I give him a ring, you think?
Oh, you should give him a ring.
Okay, I'll give him a ring tomorrow.
I think you should give him a
recorded.
We share birthdays for our listeners here. And
Nick
weirdly
and
enough,
yeah.
We talked about it on when Scott was on the podcast.
Well, we got to think that we have at least 50 new listeners on this episode, so we got to make sure that we keep them
50
abreast.
or 15.
15.
15. Yeah, that's more. That's closer to real.
I think Ben literally thought he did that at first. Did you see his face? First time, he's like, "Oh no!"
It's like when the dog farts next to you and they don't know that it's them. They're just like, "What the fuck was that?"
Oh, they know.
They know. They know. Well, thank you so much for listening to The New Way. We hope we brought you a little bit of joy and humor in this time of gloom and doom. It's not the end of times. We're all getting through this together. I'm seeing some of the best parts of humanity respond to all of this. I hope you are as well. We will be back
Especially
yeah, especially Gal Gadot. Good Lord, Ben, put it back in your pants. If Gal Gadot had been in the Cats movie, how quick would Ben have bought up every seat in the movie theater to see Cat Gadot do her shit? Yeah, that Ben's face says it right there.
The asshole version.
I know. As soon as Gal Gadot came up, his hiccups went away. Anyway,
I don't think Matt got that joke, Ben. Wait till you listen to this.
I got the asshole. I got it. She deserves better, Ben. That's why you'll never be with her. That's why you'll never be with her. Talk about her asshole flippantly like that.
Jesus.
How dare you? Anyway, thanks for listening to The New Way. We'll be back soon, and we'll talk to you later. Cheers.
Cheers.
Wash your hands. Stay inside. Look out for each other.
Good advice.
Cheers.